Hi, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Early Bird. We're going to look at this playoff game yesterday, a big game out west. Coming up. All right, like I said, game, not games. So we're going to take a look out west and see just a classic yesterday. That was a classic. That was what makes playoff hockey yesterday, in my opinion. I was watching this game yesterday, folks, and I never write off teams. I just don't, But I wrote off St. Louis basically before this game, thinking that, okay, now it's Colorado's time. They're due. Let's face it, folks, they're due. They're due for a big run. And this is it. The stage is set. We go into this game. MacKinnon goes crazy, absolutely crazy in this game, unstoppable. He looked like the best player in the world yesterday. And the Blues rally and come back. I mean, this wouldn't happen all regular season. When's the last time Colorado lost a game where they're up by a few goals heading into the third even? I don't know. This is just nuts. But I'll tell you what, it was well worth the watch. And I always watch games like right to the end. When they made it 3-2, I was really pulling for the Blues, I really was. I want the Blues to make a series of this. Let's get into it because, and last night, folks, I didn't get home till after the game, basically. I just, no time again yesterday, but I am planning to be here tonight, so we'll see unless something comes up again. But I had... when it comes to helping others get sober, folks, that has to take priority over my channel. So it's the way it is. So it's nothing against you folks at all or this channel, but I mean that my God's work has to come first, and my Sabres work has to come second. So okay, let's get into. And I do got some videos lined up, so I'm planning to be there tonight. We'll see what happens. Let's get into yesterday's game. It was an amazing game. Here we go. 5-4, St. Louis Blues beat the Colorado Avalanche in overtime in an absolute thriller when it was all said and done. And let's take a look at, well, before we go into that, I do want to say that might have been Nathan MacKinnon's best playoff game of his entire career. And it's going to be really important for Colorado moving forward now to just go right at it, not even concentrate on whatever just happened, go right at it. These are the hardest games to bounce back from. It would have been better if Colorado lost 7-0 than to lose the way they did. But this Colorado team seems to be on a mission. All right, let's look at it. Blues rally twice, stay alive with overtime win against Avalanche in Game 5. And the numbers do tell the tale. Let's look at it. All right, the Blues had 30 shots. The Avalanche had 34. The Blues had the edge in faceoffs, 52% to 48. They were 0 for 3 on the power play. The Avalanche were 1 for 3. The hits. The hits were telling the tale in this game long before the third period. The Blues were out-hitting them all game. Blues out-hit them 47 to 31. They were playing their guts out. They were doing the best they could, and in the first period, it seemed hopeless at one point. They had 13 blocks. The Avalanche had 22. And the Avalanche wasn't really, they were under siege in those blocks. It was just more them playing an outstanding game. They were just doing everything right. Giveaways, 5 for the Blues, 7 for the Avs. And we'll look at the shots. First period, 18-9 Colorado. It felt like 20-2, folks. It just did. When I watched it anyway. 18-9 in the first. Second period, St. Louis settled down, 9-6. Third period, 10-5 Blues. So they're out shooting them now 19-11 since they were under siege in the first. The overtime, all Colorado in the beginning. And you just knew, if St. Louis maybe get one chance, they might just pull this out. Final shots again, 34-30, favor Colorado. This was an absolute beauty of a game. Maybe it sucked, yes, for Colorado fans. It might have sucked. But at the same time, you're in good shape, Colorado. Calm down. You're in good shape. This is This is something I believe, even if the Blues lose next game, they gave their fans really something to cheer about yesterday, and Husso also as well. They finally look like a playoff team again since Binnington went down last night in that, especially in that third period. My goodness, I mean, they just were relentless. That was a perfect example of a team that was refusing to let their season die right in front of their eyes, and we don't see that often enough, I find, in this day and age either. You know, it's like they could have packed it up when it was 3-0 and just said, all right, that's the season, but they didn't. They kept fighting, and good on them. Good on them, because now we got a series, and if the Blues could ever hold serve on their home ice now, wouldn't that make for a Game 7? I mean, all the pressure on Colorado on Game 7 would be like, I won't believe if Colorado blow this series somehow. It just doesn't seem realistic, you know? It's something Toronto fans probably can identify with stuff like this. But in the past, not this year, but in the past. And this Colorado team is kind of feeling the heat out west like Toronto once did, guys. I mean, they're feeling it. They can't lose this series and get away with it. They can't, not this year. They're 2 losses away from an absolute disaster in Colorado. And to be honest, I just can't see them blowing the series still. But doesn't this make, at least for an exciting Game 6, and don't forget that will give us some hockey to watch, right? That we would have had, after tonight, 2 consecutive days off with no hockey. Now we got hockey. We got another game coming up, or else it would have been 2 empty days, and we don't want 2 empty days right now for sure. So, yeah, this made all the playoffs worthwhile. This is absolutely, for me, the best playoff game so far this year, just because what was on the line, the way they came back out of nowhere, guys. And you've seen the game, the ones that you've seen it, you probably relate to what I'm saying. They came out of nowhere to win this game. And even when McKinnon scored that goal late, beautiful goal. If you haven't seen the game or the highlights, folks, go check it out. Go check the McKinnon. He went end to end. It was just a beauty. It was just a perfect play. I mean, he just muscled himself all the way there and said, we're winning this series, you know? And I thought there, damn, I was hoping for overtime, you know, because I thought that's pretty much probably going to lock it, but I looked at the clock. There's time left. And then you had, I forget it was who had an empty net shot, a chance at an empty net. I think it was Landeskog, I can't remember. I just can't remember. But one of the Avs had a chance at an open net and elected to just wait a little longer and then ice it down and or throw it, you know, and that would have iced the game, or the series, and that would have iced the Blues season if he would have took a stab at it. He was afraid to ice the puck, was what it was. And sometimes you got to take that chance. That's why, you know, it can be annoying for some folks that say, why did he ice it for a while? If you got a chance to put the series away, you should do it, I think. And some of the commentators were kind of on flip sides of that. I'm on the side, you shoot at the net. If you got a chance to put it away, you take that chance, because that might be your last chance. And it was. It was. So I think going back to St. Louis, the Blues will be feeding off the emotion of this. They are going to feed off the emotion of this. Absolutely. The Blues are back in this series more than we realize, because now they're on an emotional high. Colorado's kind of in shock going into this game, next game. And it's always hard to bounce back off a 1-goal loss. That is just my experience as a player. You know, it's harder, because there's so much emotionally involved with what they just did. It was the ultimate win last game for Colorado. They had the McKinnon. I never seen so many hats thrown on the ice for a hat trick in my life. I don't think ever. And just the celebration going on in the crowd in Colorado, and everybody's partying. The party had started in Colorado. They thought the series was over. So did Colorado, to an extent, folks, because there's no way they would have blown a 3-0 lead. That bench got a little comfortable. That's one thing that we have to say here that's true, is when a team blows a 3-0 lead in a situation like that, they got comfortable. They got a little comfortable. not overconfident, but I will say comfortable. Maybe comfortable is the right word, more than overconfident. The fans for sure thought it was over. They thought it was over. They were partying and laughing, and they thought this was done. And when the Blues tied it in the last minute, I never heard a crowd like a poor crowd was like, oh my God. They're starting to feel the Toronto syndrome out there. They're starting to feel like the pressure of, okay, we can't keep doing this second round thing, whereas Toronto can't keep doing the first round thing. And that's what's going on in Colorado now. That's what's going on going into next game, guys. They're going to feel that second round pressure thing. They're going to. Now, I think Colorado's too good to blow this. I just do. But Colorado, as you see, they got to step up their hits. And I will harp on that because they do. If Colorado steps up their physical game and they throw out the 40 hits and the 40 shots, they'll win going away next game. I think, though, they played so good, because they weren't hitting much, you noticed, in the first half, but they were skating. They were just everywhere. And then the Blues slowly settled the game down physically and settled the game down into their tempo, and it paid off. Look, we're going to see a lot of crazy things in the playoffs, guys, and last night was one of them, you know. Anyway, I'm rambling. I'm going to do my best to be here today, guys. I thought I was going to be here yesterday, and then when I get a 12-step call, I have to go. It's just one of those things. I have to go. And by the time I got back, it was way too late for me to get the videos I had outlined. I'll do them tonight. I got some outlines I want to get done. All right, that's it. I got to get out of here. I got to get out into the beautiful rain out here in Montreal and get about my day. So I'll see you folks tonight. And I'll say cautiously, hopefully, at some point, maybe during the intermissions, I'll be making my videos then. See you then, guys.